Hello, everybody, and welcome. I'm Jessica Abernathy, and with me today is Tricia Montgomery, and you are listening to Pets Are Family.
Hey, long time.
Feels like forever, actually.
At least one day.
Yeah, yeah, right, right.
Yeah. So, for those of you who don't know, Jessica's had a little bout of a couple health issues, and she's been down for the count for about
A month,
maybe about a
yeah,
month.
about a month.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and you saw me flying solo, and just did it on my own. It was I was on the struggle bus there, but I think we did okay. But it's good to see you back, my friend. I've missed you.
thank you. Yeah, Justin cracked me up the other night. He texted me. He goes, "Trisha cracks me up." He's like, "Wait, she did this by herself?" And I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Okay, she's okay." That's all I'm gonna say. And I just started giggling. I'm like, "Are you okay with making this work?" He goes, "Is this a special one? Like, where were you?"
I'm not supposed to be on my own. I'm not, it's like, ah!
I just giggled,
Flying
but it's
solo.
like, "Where are you?" Trisha's cracking me up, but where did you go?
Oh my God, that's hilarious. It's hilarious. Well, today it is a special episode. We're going to talk about a topic that is very sensitive. It has been much public outcry, and let's just dive on in here. Jessica, jump on in any time with some questions or
Yeah.
whatever. But
But yeah, I would start with, I mean, because it's really big on the East Coast. You know, what I mean, I'm in Chicago and I'm
yeah,
aware of it, but it's not
yeah,
on my news yet, right yet. But it
yeah.
will eventually hit our news. But first, it has to do with the animal welfare. That's the biggest
Hmm,
thing,
hmm.
and you know we're really big on that. But give for those that are new and don't know us that well, give them a little bit of your history in the welfare in in animal welfare, just so that they understand your placement or your closeness. That's the word I want, not placement. Closeness to all
Yeah,
of this that's going on, because it is very, very, very close to you, and I want
yeah,
everybody to understand how, like, I texted you and I'm like, do you know them? You know what I mean? That's how much I know how close
yeah.
you are. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
go from
So
there.
thanks, Jessica. So, I mean, for those of you who don't know, and I've given my background a bit, I started with the veterinary profession in 1993. I was the public education director and the executive director for Chicago Veterinary Medical Association. As to animal welfare, I was very much involved with Chicago Animal Care and Control as the executive director for Chicago VMA. I got to serve on the board for Chicago Animal Care and Control within that advisory capacity. I've always served on boards in animal welfare organizations wherever I've gone. It has been always near and dear to my heart. I've always worked in rescues from a volunteer perspective. I've always fostered and been such a proponent of animal welfare and the beautiful work that they're doing. In 2019, I got called to serve. Several organizations were reaching out, and I chose to go to where I believed that they needed me the most, and that was Columbus, Georgia. And I became the CEO for Paws Humane Society in Columbus, Georgia. They are the largest regional humane society, and really outside of Atlanta, Humane Society and those organizations. Um, at that time, it was the pandemic set, and it was just incredible to be part of that. It was uncharted waters, but we made it. At the time, we also worked directly with Columbus Animal Care and Control, and I served on the board for Columbus Animal Care and Control in the capacity of as the CEO for Paws Humane Society. What happens, guys, in these animal control organizations? Not only do they adopt, but the animal welfare organizations around them pull animals from them, meaning pull animals. They'll go in and they will pull animals so Paws Humane Society can adopt, or another private rescue can come in and adopt from them directly. So along that time, there were challenges, many challenges. There were people perhaps that were not in animal welfare and did not know the animal welfare world, and being in animal control, it's incredibly important to be adept at what you're doing, to understand the animal welfare world. And unfortunately, with Columbus Animal Care and Control, they did have people in charge who did not know animal welfare. Flash forward, I left Paws Humane Society, but I continued to serve with them on an advisory interim, and then I also continued to serve on the Columbus Animal Care and Control Board in an advisory as a private citizen. So I continue to serve on their board. We saw much happening. There were many things that we were alarmed by. There were many things that were being done that we did not approve of. And unfortunately, at times when you're dealing with government and officials, you don't have, even in an advisory standpoint, as an advisory report, we're reporting directly to the government. Things don't get done. I want to take you to flash forward to where it is today, and continue. Remember, I've continued to travel back and forth to Georgia. We at Pets for Family are very much involved in Columbus Animal Care and Control, whether donations of microchips, whether it is Moose's March and donation for Animal SOS, which is a rescue for our pet cancer test. Paws Humane Society became part of one of the programs that we helped implement, Heart and Home, which we gave them 2 years of medicine from Boehringer Ingelheim for the animals upon intake. We knew there were problems. I want to say probably 4 months ago, 5 months ago, there was a video that surfaced, and it was a dog by the name of Chai. And Chai had been euthanized on the floor, and it was in a cruel manner. And let's just leave that there. It was a cruel manner. And the volunteers were able to access, or Columbus allies, who I will talk about them in a minute, access the video. And the video showed distressing, heartbreaking, devastating cruelty towards Chai with a euthanasia needle sticking out of him on the floor of the kennel. Additionally to that, it showed employees talking about, the faster that they were able to euthanize the animals, the faster that they could go home. I am going to give an incredible shout out to Columbus Animal Allies and the group there, Debbie Wooten, and just these people that have just come forward, and they did not give up. I have never seen a public outcry as I saw in Columbus, Georgia, that got the needle moving. They bombarded city council meetings. They bombarded Facebook. We talk often about these keyboard warriors, and they took it on, and they did not. They were unrelenting in their quest for justice for Chai. And you can go to columbusallies.org and also on Facebook. And Jessica will put those links out there.
Yeah. Well, I have a question for you, because we all hear about this in each of our own cities. You've been in Chicago, so you know that we've got our own issues out here. I'm not going to name any places just because I don't want to get, in trouble or anything. But, yeah, I know you will. You know what I mean? I live here still, so I don't want to get, I don't need anybody egg in my house. You know what I mean? But we all have something like this going on in each of our cities. And it's great that these guys, are keyboard warriors. You know what I mean? They never stopped and stuff like that. But my question to you is, why? Why did it take so much effort for us to have to do this? I mean, I mean, there's video, there's proof. I mean, there's laws saying that we can't do this. Why does it have to be this way? Does that make sense what I'm asking? I mean,
Oh,
it shouldn't have to be. We shouldn't have to have keyboard warriors having to fight for this. It should be as simple as going down and filing a police report saying, here are, and I can't swear people because of Apple, but or YouTube, I'm sorry, not Apple. Sorry, Apple, I love you. YouTube, you know what I mean? But these a-holes, are doing this, and you know what I mean, they should be shot, I just don't understand. I guess
I
that's
think
where I get confused.
yeah, I think everybody does, because we as humans, we want to. I'm like rose-colored person over here. I
Yes.
always want to believe the best and the goodness in people. I will always be that way, and
Yes.
I don't. I pray to heavens I never change, and that I never become jaded. But I will say, when you have corruption at the top, when you have bad actors in place, when you have people that just don't care, that should have never been placed in positions that they were placed in, it becomes an issue.
Correct.
And you can complain all you want to the management, but if the management is the problem, then you don't have anything. And that's where, Jessica, pet advocacy comes in, and that's where community steps up. And thank God they did, and thank heavens, because when you got the things not being done, and you've got complaints and list of complaints, and you're posting all these complaints on Facebook and actual documentation, and still nothing's being done, you've got an issue. And I just want to give a shout out here to District Number 4, Toya Tucker, Councilman Toya Tucker. She really took this on. And I think Walker Garrett from City Council was a part of this as well. And thank God that they listened, and being able to listen to the community and hear their cries and hear their outcry. Because it has now been marked where they started started shutting things down, and they shut down the facility, and they accessed records, and that led to a chain reaction of just all kinds of events. I was interviewed probably 3 times, and of just different documentation, and an understanding of the why, because this is not just an isolated incident. This is not isolated. Right. This has been going on and on and on and on. And so to date, effective, and we're what is it, Thursday or Wednesday, the 2nd of October here, they have made 8 arrests. And including the woman who was in charge when I was there, Katrina Pearson, and Kanita, the new director, who had no experience, but yet she got into that position. Zero experience. I think Kanita Harden Johnson got into that position as their executive director, manager, division manager, whatever you want to call her. And she had zero experience in animal control, animal welfare, animal control. There were other people who had applied to the position within Columbus Animal Care and Control, and they didn't get the job. They were sent a Dear John letter, including me, that was solicited for the job, and I got a Dear John letter from the government saying that I was not qualified enough. If anybody's seen my qualifications, you're gonna,
Was it you're not qualified enough, or was it that they didn't want to pay you because you were qualified too much? And that's the problem.
I think, you know what?
You get where?
Yes and no. I do. But I was willing to go in and help on an interim basis with a lower, because I
That was an
wanted to help.
interim basis. Yeah, I
Yeah,
get that.
but I
You
wanted,
gotta be,
but I wanted to help. But it doesn't. I mean, there were other people that were equally, or not equal. There were other people that were qualified that they too were denied. So there's something wrong at the top. There's something wrong at the top, and that's what's going on. Again, 8 people were arrested last night, many of whom I know, and I do. I'm just going to say this, whether it's controversial or not. There was a veterinarian who is a dear friend of mine who was also arrested, and it saddens me. And it was a fall, and in trying to do good and trying to do well, um, they took advantage of him, and I'm very upset by that. And my heart and my prayers are with his family now. That in an animal control organization, and I know I'm a little bit over the map here, and we want to go into these questions too, Jessica, but you animals have to leave within these organizations with a rabies vaccination. They have to leave with a series of, so they don't go out and cause problems. We know rabies is a problem. Spay neuter, all these different things, and unfortunately, there were certifications that were misused, and it's just saddening. It's just very, very saddening right now. But I think there is light at the end of the tunnel. I think from the standpoint of doing this head on in this investigation, it is an ongoing investigation. It has not even scratched the surface yet. I would imagine there's going to be more arrests happening within the next couple of days. But I think when you look at this tragedy, it allows a transformation from a standpoint of the community and gaining their trust and their respect back. I think that there's a, go ahead.
no, I was just gonna say, I mean, I can see that, you know what I mean? But the people that are hiring are the government. I mean, are they going to change their qualifications, their viewpoint? I mean, because they've already messed up.
Yeah, that's a great question, Jessica. So whenever I was just leaving Paws, we had entered into an RFP with Columbus Animal Care and Control. We were going to privatize the organization. For different reasons, that did not happen at that time, and that was in January of 22. Um, Now, it is on the table again, and they're effective last night. There is a bid right now, or a takeover that Paws Humane Society, which is a shout out to Executive Director Courtney Pierce, the amazing, incredible people there, Becky Carter from Animal SOS, Sabine Stoll from Animal Arc, and all these other people that have just rallied around and tried to help out. But there is a thing on the table right now, emergency takeover, emergency purchase from Paws Humane Society. I think it's $3.5 million that they would be awarded the contract for Columbus Animal Care and Control, and they would take over everything. Paws Humane Society is a private organization, and their standards, coming from there and having developed some of those myself, it is a private organization, and they will do a beautiful job. So I think right now negotiations are continuing to happen today, because right now I think the city budget is roughly $2.1 million, and there is a discrepancy of $1.4 million right now. And of course, that's the building, the control, there's, the ACOs, animal control officers, so there's talking about a division or things like that. But I think transparency is so important during this crisis. It's crucial for this communication. The public must be informed at every step of the way. And I think this is a reckoning for animal organizations, animal welfare organizations. I know, Steve Dale, thank you for putting a piece out there about Columbus Animal Care and Control as well. You're just, thanks for doing that for us and for me. But they need to address the incident head on. The city needs to recover from this. And this is an opportunity to be more transparent. And I know when I was there, the community was actively involved with Paws Humane Society. We were actively involved. We were in front of the community. We were talking to the community all the time. And they've got to continue that. And Columbus Animal Care and Control has got to do it. The government, now Mayor Skip Henderson, Isaiah Hughley, all of you must be more transparent, and you must, you got to tell the truth. And because somewhere, and we talk about this, you may not find it out now, but somewhere, somehow, someday, someone is going to snap, and that truth is going to come out, and God help you when it does. And that's what's happening now at Columbus Animal Care and Control.
Right.
And it is a day of reckoning. It is nowhere complete, but we know that there at least is a plan for the future and for future safeguards, overhaul of policies and procedures, implementing programs, and establishing really a robust mechanism that really adheres to the standards of excellence. And it's about the animals. It's about animals, and to see this cruelty, to see death of animals, to see animals being dumped in dumpsters still alive. Shame on you.
I mean, they're not animal people. Well, they're not animal people.
Shame on you.
Like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? It's
yeah.
You know. I think they should go into prisons with the sex offenders and child molesters and let them just take care of them. I mean, seriously, that's how I feel about it. But, you know, I mean, I know that's not right, but, you know, I mean, some people would have a problem with that, but I don't. You know what I mean? They're helpless. Yeah. You know what I mean? They can't defend themselves.
They have no voice.
You know, half the time.
They can't, and then they rely on us. We are their voice, and we know, we talk about this. We've talked about this for 2 years now, 3 years now. There is a crisis in animal welfare. There is a crisis in animal welfare. I'll repeat that again and again. There are animals are not being adopted. Dogs are not being adopted. Cats are going out, but dogs are not going out. And it is a fundamental problem because, you know, we have to figure this out. And we've got to understand the root of our problem. But the community is impacted by this. Local communities are impacted by this. And we need to safeguard that this never happens again. We need to safeguard that this never happens again. And I hope and pray through this incident that although it poses significant challenges, I believe in my heart that the opportunity is there for change. And I applaud Paws Humane Society and Courtney Pierce, Sally Gallons, Aaron, and all of these people, the veterinary community there, Dr. Devin Seifert, Wilson, and just the people there are stepping up and saying, listen, this is going to be a lot of work. We're going to be overworked, but we've got to do this. And this is where the community, again, comes in and acts as those advocates, because they didn't do it. The government didn't do it. The city didn't do it. The workers didn't do it. And so the community had to come in and go, stop, no more, not today.
Yeah, it's a lot, and it's heartbreaking, you know what I mean? And it's just, you know, and we work with them, and that's what kills us, you know what I mean? We're on the sidelines going, what the F? You know what I mean? Like,
exactly. Yeah. And to know them personally, and to know these people personally, and to have seen it for years and years and years and years and years, and complain about it and talk about it in meetings. And nothing ever to happen. Nothing ever to happen. And now suddenly, I didn't know that was going on. I cried bullshit. Excuse me. Sorry, YouTube. I cried bullshit. You did know about it. Mayor Skip Henderson, you did. Shame on you.
But I agree 100%, and I
Yeah.
think it needs
And
to be,
Isaiah
you know what I
Ugly,
mean?
shame on you. You need to leave.
Yeah,
I believe that. I believe that in my heart of heart. It's Ugly.
yeah.
It's hiring friends, it's hiring family, and it's hiring people that you know and getting them into positions that they have no position being in. No position being in.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm glad that we talked about it today. We'll probably do
Yeah.
maybe another special episode as this keeps folding.
Yep.
You know what I mean? We just want to make sure that people are aware of what's going on. And, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you can help support them, you know what I mean? Help. I mean, they need help. You know, there's animals down there.
Yeah. They're
Yep,
trying to
they need
clear
help.
all the animals out. Yeah, they're trying to clear all the trying to get fosters there because the facility's shut down now because they don't have staff now. Everybody's been arrested, and
Well,
so,
and you got to also
and
remember too, they had a hurricane just come through that part of the area. You know
there's
what I
been
mean? Like,
so
so
much,
the Carolinas are just in crisis.
everything,
Also,
everything,
yeah,
everything, everything.
Georgia,
Guys, and
Carolinas,
you can,
yeah,
and yeah, and we're
they're
going to put a
all in
link up for
crisis.
you. Let's talk about this real quickly here. We did have a conversation with Dr. Julie Ryan Johnson yesterday from the vice chairman of Greater Good Charities and Behringer Ingelheim, our friends at BI. And if you want to donate, we're going to send a link for you for Greater Good Charities. They've got people on the ground down there and they are helping out. But the videos coming out of there, animals being left behind, and literally Humane Society's gone underwater, and and transportation, nobody can get out, nobody can get in. It is so much going on right now, and it's distressing. But again, so many people have been hit by this with the Hurricane Helene, and there was a subsequent storm after that that happened. But we're usually fun and lighthearted, but I think there's some serious stuff going on right now, and we need to
No,
pay
there
attention.
is. There's
Yeah,
a lot. I mean,
yeah.
my sister that runs the Newfie Rescue in Florida. You guys have all heard me say this 100,000 times, right? Her son lives in Asheville. He moved there the week before the storm hit. Literally moved there. He
Oh, I
moved
hope
there
he's
the
okay.
week before the storm hit. So he is. We heard from him yesterday. And he has no way to get out of there. He can't, all his roads are washed out. He can't get to town. You know what I mean? He's got an animal, and he said it's horrific. You know what I mean? And animals are, you know what I mean, and then I hate to say it this way, but they're not necessarily all have been abandoned. Unfortunately,
Right.
people are missing because of the landslides. So they're getting killed,
Yeah. Yep.
and the
Yep.
animals are surviving because they have a survival instinct than we do. I hate to say that. We're just so not survivors. I mean, some of us are not. We're just like, we look at things as they're coming at us and we're
You'll
just
never
like,
see me on an episode of Naked and Afraid, by the way.
yeah, me neither. No, because I'd just be like, I'm cold. I guess that's all. I'm cold. I'd be like, nope.
Forget that bridge.
What do you mean? I would be looking for as many, I would be like putting all the leaves together for a blanket. I'm cold. Yeah. So, I mean,
Oh, we
you know
had
what
to
I
get
mean?
some lightheartedness in there, guys, for
Yeah.
sure, for sure.
Yeah.
But we're gonna put
So,
some links up for you all, and so
yeah,
you
we
guys can
will.
donate. But again, it's Forsyth Humane Society down there that has really been hit. And guys, if you're listening in the Columbus, Atlanta, Georgia area, and you feel like fostering again, we'll put a link to Paws Humane Society and the foster coordinator there, Sally Gowans, as well, and get that information to you guys because we want to be able to help out whatever we can do there. But again, we'll give you an update. And
Yeah.
just thank you guys for being with us and listening. And we've got the best audience here, and got some fun stuff coming up here in the next couple months for you guys.
We do. So thanks, Trish, for jumping on and
Yeah,
going over this with us. You know what I mean? It's important. So,
yeah,
with that, everybody, you know what I mean? We'll keep you guys updated, and thanks for always listening. You know what I mean? And we have special episodes coming out every once in a while, but
yeah,
we've got a new format that's coming out. So we're kind of excited about that. We're doing a couple changes up with the fourth quarter of the year. That's what happens when you spend a month in the hospital. You get bored and you call your girlfriend and say, "We're changing stuff." So, yeah. So,
Okay.
um, yeah. Yeah, she's just like, all right. So we've got some cool things coming up, and we think you guys are going to really like it. So look forward to it, and then we'll keep you guys up to date on everything that's going on here. So talk to you guys soon. And Tricia, I will talk to you throughout the day. And
Absolutely.
have a great day.
Bye, guys.
Thanks for listening to Pets Are Family. You can find us on all the channels now. Yes, all of the channels now. So make sure you share us with your friends, your families, and your coworkers, and anybody that has a pet. Make sure you like us, give us your feedback, tell us if anything that you want us to talk about, all that fun stuff. You can reach me at jessica@petsourfamily.net or Tricia@petsourfamily.net. Thank you for everything that you guys do, but make sure you like us, subscribe, check us out on YouTube. You can always see what we're up to. And we want to thank all of our sponsors, all of the people that support us. We love every one of you, and we can't thank you enough. And remember, check out Moose's March, moosesmarch.com, moosesmarch.com. Come check us out. Talk to you guys soon. We'll see you next week. Bye.